Hey y'all, I am about to record so you don't put syrup on your grilled cheese. We are live on Instagram and
Three,
YouTube.
two, one.
Hello. Yay.
We
Welcome
are
back.
alive by the grace of God. Amen.
Yes. We made it. We made it, guys. It's been a journey, but we're back. Welcome back,
Hey,
everyone.
everybody.
So I also have my IG live up, and those of you who are over here on
Hey,
IG, I want y'all to come on over here to the YouTubes, okay?
come
Because
see
that's
us on the
where
tubes.
everybody is, okay? So I'm gonna keep y'all up for a second, and then we gonna be over here on the YouTube. But let's go ahead and get started because oh my God, I don't even know how much that we have to catch up on. But hey, y'all, welcome to episode 25 of So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. We are two real life cousins here to talk about the stuff that we thought was normal, but was actually the family recipe of dysfunction. So we're on a mission to unpack it all, share our stories, help others find their voices when it comes to healing, mental health, and things of the like. And we invite y'all to join us along for this
Come on.
journey, a journey of self discovery, laughter, and maybe even a little bit of healing. So, my name is Kimberland, Thailand, House of O'Neill, Jackson, and Adams. Empathetic energizer, intuitive, inspirational innovator, seer of souls who are hurting, healer of hearts, and voice to the voiceless. Yay. Oh, I should give myself flowers.
Yes. Clap it, clap it,
Thank
clap
you.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
I like to
everyone.
thank everyone.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Well, I get to follow up Kimberland. I am Kalonda of House Jackson, first of her name, assistant of entrepreneurs, beacon of banter, creator of content, dancer of dreams, and excellence enchantress. And don't forget Nola Native.
Yes.
Now, before we get started, because we will definitely be the ones to just jump right in, and next thing you know, we're at like 30 minutes into the show. But we want to give you the beginning part first this time, which is
Yes.
just a couple things of what you can expect from us, what we expect from you, just some community agreements, if you will, right? So first and foremost, what you can expect from us: transparency. We know we don't have all the answers. We don't pretend to be. We are definitely experts in our own different fields, but we are not experts by any means in everything. And the things we don't know, we're going to tell you we don't know. And we're going to do you better. We're going to put you in touch with the people who do know, because that's what we are: connectors, connectors of resources. Something else you can expect from us: we are a good time. Okay. And we probably will curse a little bit. So that might happen if you have little ones around floating, pop in some headphones or just teach them what colorful language is. No harm here. But anyway, we just wanted to let you know that before you got too involved. What we expect from you: we want you to come in to us, like be willing to go on this journey, talk to us in the chat. We will talk back to you, talk to each other
Yes.
in the chat. Like, it is a community. Feel free, say hey. By all means, if there's something that makes you smile, that makes you think, we want you to share this with other people. So comment, like, subscribe, share, 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 and watch first and foremost. Kim will go over that in a little bit
Yes.
later, but we definitely want you to watch all the things that we do have going on. But definitely tell a friend. One of the things too, when you see us out in the streets, we have a couple things with our emojis, so you can let us know that you did come from here. Kim, why don't you tell the people what your emojis are?
Yes, so my emojis are the sunflower and the crayon. So yellow is my favorite color. I used to have yellow glasses. They're broken right now. But but yellow is my favorite color. It brings me joy. It makes me really happy. And the sunflower is actually the symbol for invisible disabilities, as well as looking towards the sun and going towards the light, right? So the
Amen.
sunflower is one of mine, and the crayon because there was a time in my life where everything was really black and white, and I made a conscious decision to color the fuck out of my life. So
Okay.
insert the crayon as I am creating this masterful masterpiece of art and color over here.
I hear that. Go for
Yes.
creating masterpieces. Yes, ma'am. I had a dream the other day and I woke up talking about being the canvas. But anyway,
Oh,
um,
interesting.
I know, right? So for me, my emojis are the blue heart or cobalt blue heart. Cobalt blue is my favorite color. It just feels so rich and warm and homey, like a big hug. And I've committed in this reiteration of my life to really loving out loud, being loved out loud, and not having to question what that is and if that is. On top of that, ladybugs are my spirit. I don't know if they're my spirit animals per se, but they are definitely what
Your
the
spirit
universe
messenger.
uses. Exactly, is what the spirit uses as messengers for me, for sure. Ladybugs have followed me as I've made all of these different transitions, and they are a representation of resilience and good luck and knowing that you're on the right path. I learned something new about them that supposedly, if you count the little dots on the ladybug, that's how many months it is before your process or wish or dream or whatever it
Really?
is comes true. Supposedly, take it
Oh,
for what it's worth, but
wow.
that's what I heard on the street. So those are my emojis: ladybugs and cobalt blue hearts. So if you see me out there, drop those, and I promise, I'm gonna get back out there. Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay, we gonna have to dig back into that promise ish in a
Promises, I
second.
do. I promise. I
Yeah.
just don't know when.
Okay. All right. So, quick updates. We have been on a monetization journey here on the YouTubes, and it is a process, right? But I want to take a moment to thank you all. We are at 1,218 subscribers today. Wait, where's my? There it is. Yes. Yes. Okay, all of that. So we are at 1,218 subscribers over on YouTube. And again, I have my Instagram up. If you're over here on Instagram, come over to YouTube and hang out
Come
with
on
us.
over, come on over,
So the goal was to get
baby.
1,000 subscribers. We have surpassed that, right? So now our assignment is to watch the videos, okay? So the way that monetization works on YouTube is you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 watch hours. So in a year, in a calendar year. So this is the thing. We got real active last year, right? We started and we was doing the things and stuff and everything was going and people was watching. And now we need to duplicate that and add some
This
for
year.
this year, right? So we are having a watch-a-thon and we are asking for everyone who is connected to us to make a pledge of how many hours that you are willing to watch a week. We recommend at least two. That is one good show and maybe a short, or you can watch the affirmation video and kind of get lost in the sauce. So please do let us know in the chat if you are watching live and or if you're watching in the replay. Let us know how many hours that you are willing to donate to us each week to help us to reach our monetization goal. The other thing is we already said we really need you all to share. The larger that this community gets, the easier it is to be able to create content and get things out to everybody. The algorithm appreciates it and all of that. And, we have to, in essence, feed the machine. Okay, so we feed in the machine so that the
That's what
machine
we
can
gotta
do
do.
what the machine does,
Amen.
So also let us know the kind of stuff that you might want to see, the type of stuff that you might want to talk about. Feel free. This is our space. So please do let us know all of those things. Okay. Also, we have a segment called Ask An Auntie, and Ask An Auntie is for you to be able to get some non-judgmental input about situations and things that might be happening out here in the world, in your own life, something that you heard about out here in the streets. You can submit that to us and we will talk about it and give you our view on what we think. So in order to submit that, you would go to tinyurl.com/askanauntie, tinyurl.com/askanauntie, and that is how you can submit those scenarios and situations. All right. Then the last thing, if you would like to be a guest here on the show, we do accept guests. We let you come on and hang out with us. So all you have to do is email us at mindingmyblackAssBusiness@gmail.com with the subject line, let me on there. And then you will be put into consideration for being on the show with us for a little bit. You can hang out and be a part of the shenanigans that we have going on here. The only thing is that you have to taste syrup on your grilled cheese. It is mandatory, and you have to give a real feedback review about what it was like, how it felt for you, and all of that. Okay, so those are all the updates I have. Do you have any that you want to share?
Not before we get into the show particularly.
Okay,
Those are
well,
the good
let's get
ones.
into the things then.
Do
So
the things. What's up,
yes.
home skillet?
Yeah, so we usually start out with our transparency moment. And our transparency moment is an opportunity to kind of just be real about where things are and what's going on and what's been going on. And I will say, in transparency, we haven't really talked because
At all.
they came back with the cooties and I didn't want the cooties. So it's been a lot. So why don't you kick us off? And how you doing? How's your spirit feeling? What's going on in your world?
Spirit is feeling good. I woke up this morning. I will say it's been raining the last couple nights for like extensive hours, which is, from what I've experienced in Colombia, not particularly normal for me anyway. But it's been beautiful. So just like this nice thick where you can actually see it's raining has been super, super comforting. I had definitely gone through a period where I wasn't waking up between 3 and 5 in the morning, which was phenomenal. But then that stopped these last couple days. Shit happens. So overall, though, I will say my spirit feels great. Looking forward to these next coming, I guess, weeks. I'm pretty much wrapping up my last times here in Colombia, which is interesting. And just kind of looking forward to what's coming next, getting really into work and helping as many people as I possibly can, helping myself by trying to get more disciplined and working on content creation and stuff. Yeah, but overall, I feel good. I feel really good. Yeah, no real complaints now.
Okay.
It's a good time.
Cool. So I'll share, and then we can kind of just start getting into the things.
Do the thing.
And I'll let you go first with the updates about life. But my spirit today is present, and I have it's a lot. It's a lot of logistical things that are happening right now, and so my brain is really on overdrive and overload and overwhelm and over all the things. Because there is just so much, and transition for me is something that at this point in life sends me into a how do I want to say, almost like a protective, like shutdown. I have to control as many things as I can control so that I can accept the things that I cannot control.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of that, of me trying to keep myself stable and grounded in the midst of all the transitions. I'm doing a lot of really hard things right now, and it's a lot, and people don't understand. So it's also lonely of trying to navigate it. So I am here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here counts.
It does.
Because it's easy to go sit down somewhere.
Absolutely. So yeah, so that's me. Okay, so the last time, so I don't know if you all saw the update that we put up and how you all keep in touch with us and all the things, but our last show was canceled because Kalonda didn't have a voice.
No
and
voice.
She called me. She was like,
hello.
Do you think the captions will work? And I'm like, girl, no. And I'm sitting like, did I
serious.
just ask you, are you going to be in position to have this show? And you, it might be okay. Girl.
In my defense, you asked me the day before, and I was fine. My voice didn't sound like that the day before. I woke up that morning and was like, oh, this ain't. I don't know if this gonna work. So we don't give her a good voice message and let her assess. Because I was like, well, maybe we could put some captions up and the people can understand me. I don't know. Because at that point I still wasn't feeling terribly bad. I just sounded bad. So it was like, so that's why when you asked me the day before, I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. Like, whatever was going on was happening, but it wasn't like I didn't feel good. So I was like, okay, cool. And then, girl, I woke up. That voice said, look for me. Like, ain't nowhere. Where? I said, okay.
It was interesting. So I brought that up, not just to explain why we had a week off, but also you went back to the US and
I did. It was
what
so
happened?
interesting
How
too,
was
though. I know. It was a lot. First, it was good. I was a little sad because I didn't get to see nearly a whole bunch of people that I would have wanted to see. It was just like logistically because it was super last minute. That people I wanted to see were actually out of town and like weren't there. So it was like, okay. But I did get to spend a lot of time with my dad and my sisters. I got to surprise my mom. So I did get to do some of that, which was
and
nice.
what's so funny? I didn't know if your mama knew.
She did
And
not.
she was, so, we were doing the test kitchens.
Yeah.
And she had come to the test kitchen and we were talking. And then I was like,
am I supposed to?
So then I was
she
like,
know?
just don't talk about Kalonda too much. Because I don't know. Like, let her lead, So you got a chance to surprise her.
Yes. So I surprised her. So, and that was another thing because it was, again, logistics and everything, whatever. Like, I got in, whatever day I got in, I don't think I got to see her until like 2 days later because she was working. And so it was like, okay, finally. So finally, like, the stars aligned. And I was like, okay, I'm a surprise her. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because like she can't get pedicures. So because at first I was like, oh, I got you a gift card, like go here, or try to like enlist somebody to like set up a lunch or something like that. And then I'd be there or whatever. So I'm like, okay, that don't work. So then I finally was just like, screw it. I'm going to just drive over there. I'm like, okay, she told me what her schedule was. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go before she has to get all this stuff done. And so I park in the driveway. And I call her and I was like, hey, I had something delivered to the house. Can you get it off the porch for me? And so she's like, oh, okay. She's like, well, hold on, let me get dressed or whatever. So I'm parked in the driveway, but I know she has a Ring camera. So I'm trying to like
be stealth ninja.
Ninja around this rental car in her driveway. Now we're still on the phone though. And so she's like, girl, there's a car in the driveway. Because I guess she looked on the Ring camera, or doorbell, or whatever. I don't know. People is the word I really wanted. But she was like, I said, oh, maybe it's the delivery drivers. They may still be out there. I don't know. She's like, girl, is that you out there? And I'm like, how would I be there? Like trying to play it up. So then she opens the door. So I step out and like come around. It's just like, who is that? And I was like, who is that?
Well, you just told her it couldn't be you, so now she done took that image out of mine.
You can't see me? And she's like, I don't have my glasses on, so we live a glasses life now, okay? So she just couldn't see who I was. She's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? So like that was really sweet. So we got to hang out, and then we met up at the country club. Love that place. Hung out at the pool, had a cigar, did the things, felt like home for a little bit, ate some good food. Did I see her again after that? Oh, I saw her once before. We went to Louisiana Purchase Kitchen in Metairie. I don't know if you know it.
I feel like I've heard of it.
Okay. It's cool. I mean, it's fine. It's this buffet place. But so we ate there. So that was good. So it was just really good seeing her. And And then we got to set up like the logistics for her coming to visit in
Oh my
Peru. So like that's super exciting. So she has
great.
her ticket. So that's
Oh,
official.
awesome.
So I can like let that out of my brain of like, okay, she's coming. It's gonna be great. Like super
Yeah.
excited. So I'm happy about that. Um, what else? Got to celebrate everybody's birthday. Like my dad, two of my sisters, all of them, all of their birthdays are in like the same week. Well, in the same month, two are in the same week. So got to do all of that and like just get some family time there. Um, that definitely brought up some interesting challenges and just relational things of how people kind of interact. And then
Mm,
just how I react to those things.
mm,
Um, it was like, I don't know how much we've even talked about this, but just like my dad was kind of in and out of my life, wasn't particularly consistent. Some of that wasn't his fault. Some of it wasn't anybody's fault, just was life. Um, but we had reconnected not too long ago, a couple of years ago. And so it's just been a really nice journey of everybody kind of getting to reintroduce themselves and rebuild those relationships and stuff. Well, somewhere during the weekend, it was like a statement was made, like an offhand statement at like a party, basically, because there were people that we didn't know that were around. And I was really taken aback. And I was just like, oh, that's what? Like, that's
mm,
what we're doing? And it was like, you have polite conversation and then you have conversation that you have in mixed company. And it just very much felt like
mm,
conversation that was not for mixed company and was
mm,
also information that I did not have. So it
mm,
was like a double gut punch kind of thing.
mm.
And I know this is very little context. Sorry, guys. But I mean, it's as much as it is.
There
But
was an awkward moment. Is
very awkward
moment.
exchange. So much so that it was um, like the next day, my sister called and she's just like, "Oh, I'm so happy you're here and that we're all spending time together and doing these things." And I was like, "Oh, that's very interesting," because she was saying she had been emotional about it that whole morning, how happy she was and stuff. And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Well, I was emotional all this morning about the opposite, thinking that that's not how you felt because of what
Mm,
you said."
mm,
And she was just like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Like we just be joking around." And I was like, "No, no, no. Like the stuff like that's jokes. I understand jokes. Like I'm not
mm,
sensitive. Like okay,
mm,
fine." I was like, "But when it comes to the sharing information that even like I'm not like that just didn't seem like information you shared." And she's like, "Well, but yeah." So I was like, "You don't understand. I didn't know that. Like what you said, even though it was about me, was something I didn't know." And then she was like, "Oh, oh my
mm,
God, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. Right. So we get off the phone. I leave my dad's house and go like take a walk. There's like this little lake water installation doodad, whatever. So I go have this walk and have like this mental breakdown.
mm.
And just them like, because there's certain parts, especially having come out of such a tough, like burnout, mental, I don't even know. I don't even
What
know what
you
to call
call
it.
it? Because I don't be
I
knowing
was
what
like,
to
what do you
call
call
it.
it?
I
Like
don't
mental
know.
break, mental. I don't
Crisis.
know.
I
It was
don't.
the mental. We'll go with
A
mental crisis for right
situation.
now, but I feel like there was so much more than that period that kind of. So yeah, that's why I struggle to name it. I should work on that. But after having gone through all of that, and you like confront a lot of stuff about yourself and why you react, excuse me, the way you do in certain situations and what kind of triggers you to feel certain ways and just trying to like take accountability for your own actions
Mm,
and
mm,
understanding like where it comes from, and you get to a place where you accept that, ideally
mm.
you get to a place where you accept those things about yourself because you can't change them. They are
Right.
what have happened. You can't go back and do anything with it. Everything from here on out is just how you move forward, right? So when confronted with some of these things, I was just like, I've been this walking, like, for lack of a better term, daddy issue, if you will. And there's like, why? Like, what was all of this for? And it kind of brought up a lot of the feelings of, there are things and there are people that I was be like willing to lay my life on the line for, and it felt like it just was not reciprocated, or it just wasn't, I don't want to say appreciated, but just that maybe it was misplaced, and again, because I am working on, building the trust in myself and in my intuition, it's like, see, this is why, and so in the moment, I was able to say, like, okay, I know it's not fine right now. Like, shit is fucked right now, but it will be fine, and so I wasn't like stuck in the everything is terrible. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, what is this? kind
You were
of thing.
kind of able to move through
Kind of
it.
to feel it and move through it. Like, okay, I
Yeah.
need to sit with this. Because part of the thing was they were like, well, just come on, because we were supposed to be going somewhere that day. And I was like, I'm not coming. Like, I'm not doing that. And they were like, no, just please come. And I was like, yeah, no, I can't. Like, I don't have anywhere to put this. Like, I don't have anywhere to put this. And I don't want to put it anywhere. Like, it sucks right now, and that just is what it is. I have zero desire to try to pretend that everything's okay, because it's not. And I don't want to make this all about me and ruin this time for everybody else. Like, y'all go have fun, do what you do. I'm going to be fine. But right now,
I'm not.
Right now, I'm not. And I'm not going to pretend, And so for me, I knew, like, okay, there's growth here. I was able to appreciate that in a number of ways. Like, one, even just addressing it in the first place, because previous Kalonda would have just been like, oh, it was a joke, they didn't mean it, or whatever, just like laugh it off, when it really did hurt my feelings. But it was like, that was one big piece. And then being able to say, like, no, I need to honor this time for myself. Like, I'm just gonna go lay down. Like, there's nothing that anyone can do about this at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, there's literally nothing. Like, and that's okay. Like, that's perfectly fine. I'm gonna go lay down. I'm gonna have some Doritos. I think I had like some Doritos in a Ziploc bag, and like some pecan candy, and maybe some lemonade, child. I was like, I'm gonna take my depression snacks. I'm gonna go take a sleep, and then I'm gonna deal with it tomorrow. I'm gonna deal with it when I wake up, And even though I don't know, in certain ways I go back and forth on if that's handling it or not, but that was what I needed to do to handle it in that moment. And conversations were had with the people that needed to be had with, and the resolution was just that, okay, like, we're fine. It's fine. I'm glad we got the conversations out. It was just, I think, more a lesson for me in those moments when you feel like life is like smoothing out and you're like, okay, I'm getting a handle on this. It feels like it's making sense. And then, what the fuck? Like, where did the rug go?
Bruh.
But not letting that completely upend, that happens, and it's gonna keep happening. But how are you gonna move with it? So being able to be appreciative of it, and it helps. Like, therapy happened to be like the next couple days, so that was phenomenal. Perfect timing. And then that was also when Bianca was like, I'm gonna be able to come out there, because that wasn't a plan either. So it was like all of this stuff was just like happening. So I was like, okay, good. So that part was New Orleans. It was a good trip. I had crawfish, which was good for my soul. I had turkey necks. Oh my God. I got to go to a black rodeo. I'd never done that. Oh. That was very interesting.
Where the hell did that?
That was in,
like, at the lakefront or something?
No, it was in like Gonzales.
Oh, so, okay.
I don't know if it was.
I thought you were talking about in New Orleans.
Oh,
okay,
no.
Gonzales.
I call it all, but I know it's not.
Definitely not.
I'm just saying.
Got you. Well, that was nice then, because that's how they don't. They don't. Right, so, yeah. Got you. Well, that sounds nice.
Yeah. So So I got to do that. Considering I didn't go horseback riding, I got to see the people. Well, I kind of got to see the people. Anyway, so it's like, when you walk into a place and it's like stadium seating, but they're not assigned seats, so you can sit wherever you want. So we walk in, and like the first, I'll say like 2 rows on all the sections were empty. And so at first we were like, are these reserved? Like, and we're like, no, that's over there. So we're like, okay. And I'm like, well, I wonder why nobody's
Right. Is that the splash zone?
No. Thank God, no. But what it is eventually at some point people stand at the railing, like across the walkway.
Oh.
So if you're sitting down, you can't see what's actually happening. So I saw the rodeo like in between butt cheeks and like and fans. So it was kind of like this. But it was a good time. It was definitely still a good time. What else? What else did I do?
Well, I wanted to just I was about to say touch and agree, but I wanted to take a moment and honor what you said about like having all these revelations and all these realizations, and also creating space for things to not necessarily be okay in this moment, but like I'm gonna be in this moment and we'll just deal with that tomorrow or whatever, but also not completely crashing out. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and he was like, because he was like, how are you doing? And I was like, trying not to lose my shit. Like, I'm just trying to just keep it together. And he was like, well, sometimes the strategic losing of shit is helpful. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to strategically lose my shit today.
Yeah.
So giving yourself
that pressure
the moment to just be like, oh, this is fuckery and foolishness
this is
here.
Fucked up. What is this?
Like, can't nobody fix this. And also good night.
Right. Tomorrow.
Try this tomorrow.
Try again. We'll see what happens. So, I mean, I was grateful for it. Obviously, it wasn't the most comfortable thing, but I was grateful for it.
So what did it feel like to be back in the States? So not necessarily New Orleans. Did it feel different to be back, or did it feel like normal?
Well, what it felt was expensive. First off, I got to the airport and I was like,
this I'm knowing. This I'm going.
So I'm looking for Chick-fil-A is what's on my mind, right? Because I think I flew into Miami. So I'm like, well, surely they have a Chick-fil-A there, I think. But I didn't know what gate and where I was going to be or whatever. So, but that's what I had in my heart when I landed. My first meal was going to be Jesus's chicken. So no Chick-fil-A, but near my gate was a Chili's. So I'm like, okay, I could do Chili's. I'll get a good little strawberry, raspberry lemonade, some chips and salsa, and some boneless wings. Nothing crazy, right? My bill was $40 American dollars. $40. I was like, okay, now. What?
Now, granted, this was at the airport, though, so maybe things were a bit inflated. Okay, but how did that pan out the rest of the time that you were there?
Well, so the good thing is, I'm going to say this, but my dad got off very easy this time. And if you're watching Daddy, you are very, very lucky. Because he normally cooks. Like, he's normally, like, chefing it up, doing the things. However, I am aware it was his birthday as well. So maybe he was taking this time to be off. But you have all your daughters here that you have definitely spoiled to the fact that you do the cooking. Like, to the point where we'll go out, go wherever, whatever, come back home 1, 2 in the morning, and we're like, so breakfast? And he'll be like, okay, he's making grits and eggs and sausage and bacon, and we got toast at like 2:30, 3 o'clock. Okay, so this is what I'm used to. So that didn't happen this time. But we did get some really good food, I will say, for their birthday, like extravaganza kind of thing. Oh my God, so good. They did like fried whole fish, grilled blue crabs, crawfish, turkey necks, potatoes, corn, red beans, like
You had
whole
all the
nine.
things.
Whew,
So
Jesus.
you didn't really have to finance your eating
So
while
I
you were
didn't
there.
have to eat as much. However, he lives across the street, or there's a Chick-fil-A not too far from him across the street. So I had Chick-fil-A for breakfast every day. Every day. And if y'all are there in the States and you have not had, I think it's a dragon fruit, pineapple lemonade from
Oh, that sounds
Chick-fil-A,
delicious.
go
I'm gonna ask Chef Ratatouille how to
immediately.
make that.
Find out, because it was good. When I tell you, by the time I left, everybody was going to get just the drink. It
Mm.
was so good, so good. And they do a Sunjoy version. They're Arnold Palmer. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the New Orleans, but that word is a hard one. Can you say it?
Arnold Palmer.
Must be nice. I have to it feels like how I feel when I'm telling my mom to say oil. Like that's how Arnold
Girl.
Palmer feels coming out my mouth. Like Arnold
But I speak New Orleans, so I was following you. I was understanding. I'm like, yeah, Arnold Palmer. Go ahead.
I was like, that's thick. But anyway, so yes, so Chick-fil-A every day. Then I think we went to Neo's, we went to Superior Seafood, and like those places before here, I wouldn't necessarily like consider super expensive,
Mm.
but it was like almost a $200 bill,
Okay.
and it was like I'm like, oh no, like oh what? So yeah, so being in America felt expensive.
Mm.
Also, but it was freeing and a little bit relaxing in my brain, not having to like figure out the translation, like so I was able to just kind of go, okay, I can just talk, and I can just receive the information without having to translate, which was funny flying into Miami because I was still trying to speak Spanish because they were also still speaking Spanish. So like that part didn't really click until
Mm-hmm.
I made it home. And then I was like, oh, huh, okay. Like I don't have to like think 3 times to get this
Mm-hmm.
thought out,
Mm-hmm.
or 4 times if I run it through the French translation first. So you never know. So like that was kind of what that felt like. I was wondering if I would remember how to drive. I was like,
I ask myself that all the time, but I haven't driven in
years, literal.
3.5 years.
Right.
So I'm like, do I still know how to drive? I don't know. So did it feel like, I'd get on the bike and whatever, or was there an
It
adjustment?
did, but there was definitely the thought process because your brain is
It
like,
wasn't
girl,
automatic anymore.
it's been 6 months. Did you check these mirrors? Like, let's look at how long this because again, it wasn't even my car. So I'm like in my dad's car. Then we were in a rental, so it was. Excuse me. So it was also trying to make sure like I can't,
Mess
wreck
up
the man's
somebody's
bag.
car. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like there was a little bit of that, but like once you're in it, it's fine. Like you get
Mm.
back to the norm of it all. But there's definitely that moment where your brain's like, "Are you sure?"
I don't think I
It's
ever want to drive
you,
again. I don't.
which is fine.
I just feel
I tried
like
to
I'm over
passenger
it.
princess it the whole time because see the problem is Bianca thinks she is a passenger princess. And I know that I am a passenger princess. So
It looks like somebody hit a curb or something. Is that what happened?
somebody hit a curb.
There's a comment here. It says, and that
I
curb
can't see
has
it.
so much to say. So
Oh well,
was there a curb that
I didn't hit a curb,
oh
so I would imagine.
there seems like there's a
did the
story there.
did the commentor have a further comment on what the curb said?
I don't know. So go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, so like that was fun, just trying to figure out who was gonna drive. So in interesting like woman loving woman dynamics, like who's who when there isn't a real like gender role and nobody really ascribes to one versus the other. That's a fun key conversation, let me tell you. But I will say she wound up driving a bit, which I appreciated considering that wasn't even where she was from. And so we did have fun though because on Waze, I use my voice for the direction on Waze.
You can do
So
that?
Like you can record all the little turn, like in point 1 miles, turn left. And so it'll do it. But I like add different stuff in there. So I'll be like, to the left, to the left. And then like
Oh,
once
this
we
is
arrive,
interesting.
when you get there, mine goes, looks like we made it. So it's like all kind of funny stuff. Or like if you're you know how normally if you miss a turn and it's like rerouting, then I have mine say, oh, you think you know better, rerouting. It's just like little silly stuff like that. So then I think that made it easier for her to drive because she was just listening to the directions and cracking up.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we had a good time. What else happened? That was a big part of it. Then I got sick, and it was like, what the hell? Which
So where
is
you
very
picked up the
interesting.
cooties from? Because you came back
Probably a
here with
rodeo,
them.
child. Who knows?
Oh, see?
I was outside. Okay, my daddy don't play. Like we be out. And that's what I was trying to tell Bianca. I was like, I am so sorry. I did not prepare you. Like, and this was just like a regular weekend. Like, this wasn't anything in particular happening. So I'm like, I am so sorry. Next time we're gonna go give it like a week and a half beforehand to like ramp up your endurance so you can
My life is not set up for that
he
anymore.
does
Like,
not play. And I hadn't done it in forever. Like I literally hadn't drank before that for like
oh
some
my
months.
God.
And so I still drank a lot less than I normally do. So there was that. But it was still a gauntlet of being out. And so yeah, my dad's just funny. Like you're gonna be out and you're just gonna be there all day. And then good luck. And then get up in the morning and do it again. Like that's what we do. No. So that was a fun adjustment. I feel like I was going somewhere else there, but I think I lost that. I think that train got off track. But
I don't know, but we have a couple comments here coming in from the chat. Lil Baby tore that curb up. I can't wait till story time since Lil Baby don't remember. So Kalonda don't remember how she parked at El Paso.
Oh shit! It was not a curb. Okay, so
I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to get the information, get accurate reporting, you know.
My bad. Okay. This was me. I admit it. We were at this restaurant and they had like the parking, the regular lot. Then they had like the back lot. And the back lot was like the gravel extra space that they were just like, hey, you can park back there too. Well, to get out, it was a cluster. Like there were just people everywhere. And we were in Grand Cherokee. So it was, it wasn't low to the ground. So there's a hotel behind it. And so I'm like, oh, I could just drive over the curb to get out because we were going to go get our bags and stuff. So that part was fine. I drove through the grass, got down, got out. We went where we need to get, came back to the same restaurant. So I was like, I'm not going through the front. I'm going to just see if I can get through the back again. So I went through the back, but where I came out the first time, a car was parked. So I was like, damn, I can't go that way. But there was a spot straight ahead. And I was like, you think that's too high? Because it was like, it wasn't even. And you had to go over one of those little parking stopper things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
All right. So I had to go over one of those. And I'm like, it's a Jeep. No big deal. So I drive over it, and you just hear the bottom of the car, like,
oh my God.
My God. So I get out, and I'm like, is there anything leaking?
Oh my God. I told them that clearly with the 4-wheel drive button clearly was not pressed. Okay, they're out there trying to off-road and carry on. You heard them say a Jeep Cherokee. That is not the off-roading Jeep.
Well, it did have all of those buttons that you were referring to, but now that you mention it, I did not engage any of them. And I will also say, while I was at one of my mini trips to Chick-fil-A, that car put the emergency brake on, and I got stuck because I didn't know how to get the damn thing off. So then I finally found it, but I apologize to the people behind us at Chick-fil-A because if there was a line, it was me. I was stuck.
You were in the drive-through line stuck? Oh my God.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't right now.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, you had asked about
Wow.
being sick. Oh, yeah. So that was, I'm imagining we were outside. So that's probably how I
Yeah.
got
So
sick.
you picked up the
Because I'm
cooties.
not normally around a lot / any people,
Yeah.
which I also think was part of like some of the upheaval when everything happened with the awkward conversations, because I also think I was overstimulated because I went from a situation where it's you and I usually, and then or Bianca, and then or just we're by ourselves, so it's
Right.
not like a whole lot going on, and so then being around a lot of people and big personalities and alcohol and like all of that entails. So it was a
That
lot of
was a lot. I know
a
that was
lot
a
of a
lot
lot,
because
a lot.
I've been feeling like, especially when I was telling you earlier, like with everything happening in my mind and trying to get ready for these transitions and like all that kind of stuff, like overstimulation be waiting. Right. So I very much had my headphones on, very much just even this morning when I walked in y'all's room and I was like, my God, it was so bright. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, the
And
windows, the blinds
and
open,
every
the
time I
windows
blinked, it
open.
just got brighter and brighter. And I was like, oh my God, oh God, oh God, it was a lot, right? But so I can understand. And that's why I'm wondering like what it felt like, because for me, it's very much been, even when y'all came back, like it's additional energy, like it's just
Yeah,
additional things that have
space.
to be
Yeah,
managed.
yeah.
Or when I went to the mall the other day and I
Hmm.
walked and I had my headphones on most of the time, but there were a few times that I had to like interact with people and I was just like, this is a lot. And then watching people and how people interact, and like you said, the things people say and like all of that, especially when alcohol is involved. I just did my second episode of The Frolicking Truth, and I was
Hmm.
talking about when I stopped
Yes.
drinking and why I
Yeah.
stopped drinking. And it is like I don't miss it. So just hearing you say that, I'm like, no, it's time to go. Uber me
I'll be at home.
away.
Like, can I get a key? Thank you.
I
So
don't have it. So
it was
kudos to you for being
definitely,
able to.
and I enjoy it. Like, I'm not gonna say like I don't enjoy a good brunch moment or I don't enjoy a good festivity, because I do. I definitely do. It's just in those quiet moments when I've been so used to being in like my own personal space that like, okay, I went out to go to brunch, but I came back home and it was
Hmm.
quiet.
Hmm.
But everybody was at the house, and so like house was brunch. And so then
Yeah,
that was where the
that's a lot.
like unsettling part can be. Um, but I will say this for being in the States, like, so I got sick and I was like, it's just not getting better. Like my throat hurts, like I have a headache. So then I'm like, shit, please Jesus, don't let this be COVID. Like, please don't tell me I came all the way back here and got COVID. Because I'm like, now I'm supposed to get on a plane. Like I've been interacting with people and now I'm supposed to get on a plane to a whole other country. I'm literally about to be patient zero. So I'm like, okay, let me go to urgent care. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just go to the doctor. Because it was like I was sick and congested and whatever. Then I woke up and my eye was pink. And I'm like, pink eye? Like, are we serious? Because I was sick and I was just sick. I just didn't feel good. Then like one morning I woke up and my eye was like crusty. And I
Oh
said, I
my
know you fucking lying. I know
God.
you are lying to me right now. So I'm like, what the hell? Then it was like something like there was like this bump on my ear. I was like, I am dying. I'm allergic to America and it is time to go. So I go to urgent care, right? So I still have insurance. I think. I
Mm,
wasn't sure. And so I give her the card that I've been making sure I carry with me everywhere. Turns out that card is not valid. So
mm.
did not need that in my wallet. But anyway, so the lady's like, she's like, well, this one isn't valid. I said, well, how much is it? It's a self-pay. So I'm just ready. I'm just preparing myself because I have no idea what number they're about to throw at
Mhm.
me. And so she said 175. So I'm like, all right, I guess it
For
could be
urgent
worse
care.
for urgent care.
Jesus
So
Christ.
I'm like, I guess it could be worse. And I'm just hearing in the background of my mind when you went to Panama and fell, and it wasn't even that to get a whole
To
stitch
get
up
stitches, it
emergency,
was a hundred
you know,
dollars, and that was
you
including the
know.
medicine.
I'm just trying to find out if I got COVID or not. Like, can you swab my nose and tell me if I got strep? Like, and I apparently need some eye drops because what the fuck is this? So anyway, so I go in the back, whatever, I'm waiting. Nurse practitioner comes in and she's like, does all the swabs, comes back, and tells me it's not COVID, it's not strep. And she's like, but I know your self-pay. Now, in the meantime, I had found a picture of another card. So I went back up to the desk. I gave the lady that information. I was like, I don't know if this is valid either, but let's give it a try, girl. And she's saying, okay, cool. When you finish, just come back up. I'll let you know. So I guess the doctor never got that information. They just knew, for whatever reason, knew that I was self-pay. So now, as she's having this conversation with me, she's very much making decisions based on whether I'm going to pay it out of pocket or not. And it's like, but that's not what I asked you. Like, tell me what's wrong with me. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just a glimpse into when we tell people, oh, I live out of the country or I'm living in South America. And it's like, oh, but the healthcare system. And I'm like, our healthcare system. What are you talking about? Our healthcare system. She literally was like, oh, well, I don't know if you want to have this, cultured or whatever, because you have to pay for it. Like, so essentially they had no clue. And they were just like, here's some medicine and it should take care of it. And if that's not it, then it's not going to do anything. You don't have to worry about it. And then I was like, but at the same time, close your ears if you get squeamish. But I was like, is this anything that can cause a yeast infection? Because the mere mention of antibiotics will give me a yeast infection. Like, just prescribe both. Like, if it is, just give me both, please. So she's like, no, like, it's not. I'm like, all right. So I'm already freaking out about that. Then I'm like, okay, now I need to go get my medicine. Because I went to the doctor maybe the day before I left. So it was like, okay, now I got to see if Walgreens, see if they have it. Can I pick it up today? Because I fly out super early in the morning. Because again, this was a last minute trip. So it was like everything had to like line up perfectly, which thank God it did. And I'd already done this with my medication from my therapist. Because I was like, oh, good, I'm home. I can pick up my medicine, whatever. So I go, they're like, oh, well, we have 30, but I needed a 90-day supply. And so she's like, well, you could pick up the 30 and then we can put it in and you can get the other 60. And I was like, I can pick it up this time? And she's like, oh, no, you have to use it first. And I was like, no, I'm leaving in like a few days. I need all of it right now. She's like, oh, okay. So like we had to try to make that work. So luckily I was able to get everything for that. But it was just like, nothing's ever just easy,
It's a procedure and a process. And it's interesting because one of the things that has been consistently in the forefront of my mind is what you know is normal. And you don't know that that's not normal or things can be a different way until you experience something different.
Something else.
And the idea like that US healthcare is good is wild because it's not at all.
Not even good, superior. Like we're taught that it's superior. And it's like, and to your point, it's not even good. Like, let alone superior. Because,
it's horrible. So it's interesting because I've been speaking out a lot more. Like I've had so many podcast interviews and I have a bunch more coming up. And one of the things that people are, curious about is me being outside the country and how I did and for so long and all that. And I keep trying to explain to people with US bias that the US is not great at all. And it's so weird to me. And it makes me like, on one hand, I'd be like, y'all don't see this shit. But on the other hand, I'm like, just don't say nothing because it makes me look like I'm crazy. It makes me look like I'm the one that's out here just talking out the side of my neck when I'm talking about what I know. I'm living it. I'm experiencing it. But the indoctrination runs so deeply that people will go to bat for this trash ass system. And it's every day it's getting worse and worse. What are y'all
every
talking about right now? It's
every
wild. It's
day,
wild.
every day. And I know we're gonna talk about fam in a little bit too, but it was just like people are like, oh well, people are just mad because she's a Republican, and I'm like, it has nothing to do with her being a Republican or having Republican ties. It's the fact that she's aligned herself with anti-black, like it's like people, like you said, people will take the extra time to go the extra mile to completely not understand the basic things that are in their faces every day. And it's so frustrating. Um, yeah. So beyond frustrated, but happy to be home on the mend. Um, and then I was like, well, worst case scenario, I'm back here. I can call Dr. Brian. What was his name? I'm like, he'll make a house call. I'm
Dr.
like,
Josh.
Josh. I'm like, what
We
is his
got,
name?
I mean, all we have to do is go into the chat and be like, hey, I need a doctor. I need an at-home gynecological exam. I
You
need,
know,
when I had to
slash
go and
massage.
get
Like,
blood work,
okay,
it was $10. Like, you know what I mean? So
wild
it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
to say the
So
least.
let's jump into the rabbit hole
Yes,
themes because you just mentioned
yes,
FAMU, and that is definitely something that I have been in this rabbit hole about. So FAMU is Florida A&M University,
go
Florida
Rattlers.
Agricultural and Mechanical University. And as Kalonda just mentioned, they just elected a new president of the
Yes,
university. And FAMU is an HBCU, which is a historically Black college or university. I graduated from an HBCU, Fisk University in Nashville. Kalonda attended FAMU. So they done elected this new president of the university, and the president is very much a MAGA person. She's Black and also very
and
much
still
aligned with the MAGA agenda. And when we say MAGA, that is Donald Trump and his minions. So she is very much that person. And apparently, it was a lot of activity by the alumni, the current students, the
the
alumni
overall community.
association, like just people were very, very, very much involved in this situation. And the board of trustees, who was also appointed by the governor. The governor is Ron DeSantis, and y'all know I used to live in Florida. That's when DeSantis got elected. That's when I was like, all right,
Pack it up.
let me I mean, the hell, like that election with him and Andrew Gillum, and after that election, the way that it was wild. So anyway, the board of trustees was appointed by Ron DeSantis, and they did the job that they were appointed to do. So I am curious, as a former rattler, what your thoughts are on it, what you've been seeing out here in the streets, what are the people saying, and also Bianca is in the chat. So Bianca has ties in Tallahassee. So I'm curious if you want to chime in as well and share. But yeah, what have the people been saying?
From what I'm hearing, um, I mean, the people have really just been outraged. The people who are really wanting better. Um, I know the loudest thing I've been hearing recently was the need for HBCs to band together, much like the Ivy League schools did when Trump tried to come after Harvard. And they kind of took the stance of if you come after one, you come after all of us. Which, yes, there does need to be some sort of solidarity and pooling together of resources so it can be a united front and it doesn't make it as vulnerable positions for these individual universities to be attacked. The concern, though, is that once they've done it, it's too late to start it. You know what I mean? Like it's too late for FAM, obviously, because she's in position and she's in place. And that was essentially at that point a foregone conclusion because she was already working with DeSantis for what, 8 years or so, if I'm not
They've been
mistaken.
working on this a while, and that's what
Yeah.
like I know again Bianca can speak to this too, but like they've been working on destabilizing higher learning for a while, and specifically HBCUs. So
Mm-hmm.
the same thing that happened at FAM happened at Tennessee State University, where they replaced
True.
the board, and then the board got rid of the president and put a new president in. Even at St. Augustine University, which is where my interns come from, they are in the middle of a land grab right now where
Mm-hmm.
they've lost their accreditation and now the government is trying to get that land. So
Right.
these things have been happening for a while. We're
A
just
long
now
time.
is safe enough to be like, we finna do
To
what the hell
be,
we want to do.
this is what we're gonna do.
This is
And
what it
what are
is.
you gonna do about it?
While also gaslighting you and telling you that we have executive orders to give you money and protect you. Yeah, we're gonna give money and protect you, and what they
Yes.
said to make it more accessible for students, not for us. So what
No.
they're going to do is change the fact that they're Black
It's
universities
Black
and just
universities.
infiltrate them with everyone
Right.
else, and now it's gone. And like,
Right.
yes, so this has been in the works for a while.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just very disheartening. And the hard part, I can only speak for FAM because that's where I went. And the challenges that were there. And yes, there were definitely things, if you're honest about it, that they needed to do for their own sake. Same thing with the previous president, of him mismanaging the scholarship money, not really doing his due diligence, and that kind of giving them an in, if you will. And unfortunately, it sets it up to make this like talking point or make it be palatable for Marva to come in of, oh, she's saying that we need to do things a little differently, and how we got here isn't how we move forward, and she's in the ears of the people and it's like, who are you talking to? Like, who is this for? Who is this for? So I hope that because this has happened, and I hate that this has happened though, that the rest of the HBCs do band together and unite and find a way so that this doesn't continue to happen. Because
it don't look like they are though, because
it doesn't.
Wow.
I haven't heard anything.
I was asking back in November, and this is the point where I begin frustrated. And I'd be like, I done been saying this shit, and if y'all just listen, god damn it. But I was back during homecoming time. I was like,
when everybody was out on the
are we having about what needs to happen to protect our institutions? What are we talking about? I see y'all on the yard. I see y'all having a great time. It's fun. You got boots wasn't on the ground back then, but maybe it was Tamia's line dance. We're doing the things that's nice. You're seeing everybody is cute and all that. And also action. What are we doing to ensure that we are protecting our institutions and that we are protecting the students who have enrolled thinking that they're about to come into a safe space, and you're not even having actual conversations with them about what is actually happening? Like, it is so frustrating to me, especially because we know that during the civil rights movement, a lot of the movements were with students, right?
Yeah.
And this generation of students, our 20 somethings, our 18 to 20 somethings, they're coming in, being able to vote, being able to recognize, they see that shit is white. Like, this can't be what y'all was telling us that we supposed to, what? Like, what is this?
We get to walk into and do this. Like, this is not a prize.
Right? But you know what's happening, and I've asked students at the schools, what are they telling you all? They're telling them everything's fine. Everything's fine and everything is going to be fine. And that's a lie. And that's a lie. And it pisses me off.
Not true.
Like, I be having, when I say the rabbit hole, like I got to jump in and I got to jump out, because I get so pissed, because we have seen this coming for a very long time. Why are we not preparing?
I'm telling you, it's because it was literally that it was easier to believe that this is a 4-year problem. This is just, we have to deal with this presidency and he'll be out and someone else will be in. But these changes that are being made now, that's not stuff that just gets undone. Like, you don't just say, okay, I don't know. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. Somebody was like, they went to Popeyes. They got 3 wings and a biscuit, and it was $8.21.
Girl, What?
That used to be $1.99.
I was about to say a wing used to be $1.20 something, and then you get a biscuit for 60 cents.
So it's just like, and now granted, these are probably like $19.99 prices, but
But
still,
also,
you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. Like that stuff is out. Like even though, yeah, they're rolling back these tariffs, companies that were in the United States were raising prices and saying, "Oh, it's tariffs." Like, but you're not paying any tariffs. What are you talking about? Like that doesn't apply. Like human nature is it's something else. So like these things that are being done when he's gone, it's not just, oh, it's
he's
gonna go
not
back to normal.
leaving.
Well, that part. But
And
it's
his
like just the
regime is
thing,
not leaving.
that's the part. Like he's actively setting up a very strong and entrenched base of bigoted zealots that have no intention of going anywhere. And all they're wanting to do is enrich their pockets. And there isn't any like particular active movement to the contrary, and it's not, the answer isn't necessarily the Democrats. It's not this two-party vision that
Because
we
all of them
have.
trash.
And this is the thing, when you look at Trump being elected was like the true sign that the two-party system doesn't work. Because obviously there's already disillusionment with Democrats. Fine, whatever. But it was like a whopping like 90 some million people that just did not vote. And if they had voted, whoever they voted for would have won. Like people are so disillusioned in the system, they're just not participating in it, but you are a victim to whatever the results are. And it's until that change happens. And I don't have that answer. I don't know what that is. Is that one person that is rallying this cry that everybody gets behind? Is it just multiple grassroots of like, hey, this is not okay? I mean, for sure, it's definitely getting the young people engaged in their local elections, and paying attention to when they are, because people try to hide the fact that these elections are happening way more frequently. Like it used to be, oh, you vote once or twice a year, maybe 3 times. Now it's like if you don't pay attention, they will put an election 2 months after you had another election.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, what was this millage tax that came out of nowhere? I didn't know that election was happening. And this stuff is done on purpose. Like this is not accidental. It's just really about again, to your point, having those conversations in these universities, at home, of what it looks like to really participate in our government, if that is what you choose to do. The other option is to get the fuck out and go somewhere else.
Because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like I have like historically been like a get out the vote type of chick, right? I can't even, and I'm not saying that you are, but I can't even blame people for being disillusioned and not voting.
Oh, I knew.
Because the outcome of the election was going to be the outcome of the election regardless. 100%. It didn't matter if they went and voted. He was going to, this has already been happening. This is already, when we were in Tampa and we were watching what was happening with the school board elections and the Moms of Liberty that were coming and the banning of books, all of this has already been in place. This election was just the time that they pressed the button and said, it's time.
Go.
Even I just saw the other day that the lead author of Project 2025 is replacing taking over Doge, taking over Elon Musk, while we're also welcoming South African, I don't even know why I'm saying while they are also welcoming South Afrikaners, white people, into the country, where the secretary of this and that is going to meet them at the airport and all this, while simultaneously you are
deporting
terror down the street.
You're literally deporting American citizens. You're trying to find a way to actively just send anybody else away. But these white guys, because they're white and they're perceived to have money and things you want, and you want stuff from Africa, then you made this okay. But it's like the people that you're saying were displaced, they were displaced from land they stole. It was people taking their land back that left them without land. It wasn't just, I rolled up on your house and was like, I live here now. It was not even 30 years ago. Not even 30 years ago, you took this land. I want it back. Like,
It's wild. It's wild. So that has been one of the things that I tip in and then I tip out because I get upset that people are not listening and honoring. I do want to state hope is not a strategy, y'all.
No, hope is not
That's
a
not a
plan.
strategy.
Hope is not a
So
plan.
they not gonna do the right thing. People that are evil do not do the right thing. Okay, so we got to stop
Ever.
hoping that they're gonna get some type of conscience and all. They're not. They're
Why?
not.
They're
They're not.
losing all of the benefits. It's not in their interest to gain a conscience. For what? They don't care. They don't care. They're
I
generating
remember.
a workforce for their company.
Correct. 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 Somebody, I think it was one time that I was in church maybe, and they were talking about, there's that Bible verse and it says the enemy it only seeks to kill, steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
And I remember one day somebody was like, y'all take this for a joke. Like y'all think that that is a joke. That is real. When I was in Pennsylvania dealing with them white people, I said to myself, oh, they really trying to kill me and destroy me like in real life. Like this is not a joke. To that point, what's happening right now is not a joke in the
Not
United States.
at
This
all.
is not something to take lightly. I keep saying now is the time to plan and strategize. The window is closing. And this is not to cause terror and fear. This is for you to actually be
Prepare.
realistic about what is happening, to make a plan, to make sure you have community, to make sure that you are addressing what is actively happening as opposed to sticking your head in the sand. That's not a plan. All right.
That's not the point.
So that was rabbit hole number one. Rabbit hole number two that done had me on these internets cussing up a storm is what's happening with this Diddy trial. So it was about a year ago, actually, that they filed
The video.
the video came out.
Yeah.
And because I've been seeing the memories coming up. And I remember us talking about it a little bit. And I was like, I ain't rocked with that man.
We had a whole show on it. Yeah.
The making of the band. And I don't do that, man. Bruh. So I don't, the way that I consume this information is through Mel Goolsby's page. I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
So through her recaps.
Right.
I needed to go into the comments. Because I said one day, I was like, I made the mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was actually very intentional because I'm in a place where I am just cutting people off. I'm not even, I don't, like, we went through this with R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And I remember when R. Kelly happened, I was like so upset that I was messaging people and I was like, you're following his page. Like you support him. Like, what are you doing right now?
Right.
And I realized how many people really do support predators and how many people really do believe that women deserve to be abused. How many people that are looking for a way to be able to discredit somebody's lived experiences. So I went into the comments because I need to get those people out of my orbit. I need you to cease to exist. I need to have all the mental funerals and just pretend like you were never even here and I never even knew you. But the thing that really stuck with me so tough is the number of women that are in the comments that are saying things like she deserved it, she asked for it, she's not innocent in this, she knew what she was signing up for, why didn't she just leave, why didn't she just do this and that? And as someone who is an domestic abuse and domestic violence survivor, it is wild for that to be coming from people who look like you and people who should understand. And that's not saying that men aren't abused. I definitely have seen that firsthand as well. But you would think that a woman would be able to empathize with another woman and understand that nobody signs up for a relationship that's supposed to be loving and they didn't sign up to be harmed. So for you to fix your mouth. So what the video that I had made was, if you haven't realized that you're in an abusive relationship and have successfully gotten out, you need to shut the fuck up. Period and point blank. Right. And if you are someone who is saying these things, you have either been abused or you are an abuser. Right. Because if you think that people sign up to get abused, you think that's what comes with love, you're abusive.
Right.
Period.
I
And
mean,
point blank.
yeah, because that's not anything anyone wants. Now, it may be learned because, oh, hello, not thumbs up, but thumbs up, why not? It may be learned because that's what you saw in other people's relationships, but you still don't say, I want to go get my ass beat. The goal is still just to have someone to love you and to create this life where there is a safe space. Now, you may give it a lot more grace if that's all you've seen in other people's relationships of like, oh, well, maybe that's what love is. Now, even then, they're still equating it
I was
to
about to,
love.
but even
Like
in that, exactly,
it's
because I thought
still
that.
right. Like it's not I want I want to be hurt. Like that's not the case. It's there's some women who are like, you know what? My man beats me because he loves me. Like I don't think a guy loves me if he doesn't put me in my place.
Correct.
You know
Correct.
what I mean? And that's
You are
because
being
it's been
abused, ma'am.
indoctrinated and you've been abused this whole time and you've seen a pattern of abuse with the females and males in your relationships. So you think that that's okay, but you're still looking at it as a place of looking for love. It's not looking to be hurt. And the crazy part to me is taking the Cassie situation where she tried to leave. We all watched her.
Watch the video.
I just got chills. Like we all watched her try to leave on camera and saw the things that he did to her. Then you have someone like Hallie who did leave and people are giving her shit. And it's like, as black women, y'all just don't like us. Like, that's the only thing I can think of because you can't win for losing. Like, how are you wrong if you stay and you're wrong if you go? Like, how about we just ask people to do better? How about it's not my responsibility for you to not put your hands on me? Why are y'all not in these men's comments saying, what kind of person raised you? Why do you think it's okay to put your hands on somebody? Where are your friends that didn't say, hey, that's not how you treat a woman? Like, let me show you what it looks like when you love somebody. Where are the people that are doing that? Then it was so funny because literally that next day, Chris Brown was like, free Tory
Arrested.
Lanez. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, Chris, now you should have just shut the fuck up. And then not 24 hours later, they had his ass hemmed up in Manchester.
Yep.
And there's a couple things with that. First, they approved his visa. And then second, who is his business/tour manager that didn't check to see if this dude had active fucking warrants? Like, that doesn't just happen.
But that shows you how used to they are of getting away with things, right? When you have money and when you have power, when you have influence, you're not checking for that. He probably don't even remember beating that person down the way that he did. It's just something that they do. Right. And Chris Brown is one I was teaching when the situation happened with him and Rihanna. And I remember I had to stop my class. Hey, guess what? This how we finna learn about science today is we're about to talk about how this is not okay. I don't care what she said. I don't care what. No, that's not how this works. Keep your hands, feet, and objects to yourself. Children.
Both of y'all. Both
everybody.
Men and women.
Everybody.
I've told you. I'm like, I've never said that. Like, oh, this sounds terrible. But it's never been a men should never hit women. It's just keep your hands to yourself.
Everybody needs to keep their hands, feet, and objects to themselves. Hands, feet, and objects to yourself. All of it. Every single person.
Throwing things count.
All of it. Right. And so the thing with DDG, Chris Brown, Tory Lanez, Diddy, this is all that red pill generation.
Yeah.
The podcast bros, the passport bros, the what's them fools' names that got fresh and fit. Like this is that generation, even like extending over into Andrew Schultz and just there is no regard for other people. There is definitely no regard for women and absolutely not even any humanity for Black women.
Right.
And we're seeing that play out. And it's so unfortunate because it's playing out by people who look like
like us. Yeah.
People who look like us. And it makes me really concerned for our young people and the type of relationships that they will be having with others, whether those relationships are romantic or not. The types of interactions that they're going to have with people who don't even see their humanity. That is just so dangerous. And I know I'm doing my little drop in the bucket. Like I'm trying to, like, come on, y'all, let's get it together, but it really, this is the kind of stuff when I go outside and I realize those are the people that's outside. That's why I be inside.
Go back inside.
That's why
go back inside. Because they said like they did the poll to ask kids, what they want to be, when they grow up, what they aspire to be. And most of them, streamers, influencers, streamers, influencers. And if you look at like just some of the people you named, the streamers and the influencers that are out there, like what is this example that they're setting?
Correct.
What is it that these children are aspiring to? And I'm not saying that everybody needs to want to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. I'm not saying that, but there needs to be some sort of level of just compassion and empathy for, like you said, for other people, and what types of communities are you trying to build? And it's not to say that those type of influencers aren't out there, but where the focus is and where the attention is on these influencers, where that is not their
Correct.
Like it's, how can I prank this person? How can I put this person down? What kind of drama can I start? What kind of beef channel can I have? What kind of bitches and baddies and rollies and whatever on whatever platform? Like that's what's getting the attention.
Correct.
And that's what makes people feel like, oh, well, I can make money doing that.
And you can.
I can make money doing that. It doesn't pay me to have an app on talking about mental health and mindfulness. That's not where the money is. The money is me getting into this beef with this other girl and us running into each other at some friggin' brunch somewhere. Like,
yeah, or
how do you compete
talking
with that?
about how do you get over on women, and how do you use women for your gain and all that kind of stuff. I'm very much team be an influencer and be a content creator.
Yeah.
What kind of content you creating and what are you influencing?
Correct.
So that's the word that I'm trying to focus on, is you have a platform. People listen to you. Now, what you talking about?
What are you
doing with that? How are you helping the world? Not how are you causing harm?
Right. Or just taking and consuming.
That too. So I think is for anyone who is listening, who is considering getting into content creation and being an influencer and utilizing your platform and realizing that people listen to you, there is a responsibility. There is a responsibility for you to do something positive with that platform and do something that is going to help people and not harm people. And to your point, that is not the stuff that's amplified. I bet you now, we posted a fight video on the page. I bet you we have monetization tomorrow.
Woo! Tomorrow.
Not but I'm not willing.
You don't put enough syrup on my
right. And now all of a sudden everybody's here, and like, but it's like that's not right. Now come and get some healing with your crazy asses. Bianca said, who are our children looking up to? And I was just about to bring Bianca up because a lot of Bianca's work is in social media and understanding what's on these platforms. And a lot of her work centers on kids, but I want to talk to the grown people. One, if you are responsible for children, you need to be watching what they're watching. You need to actually sit there and listen,
be watching what you're watching with them.
Well, first, yes. And what you're watching with them, and also what you're watching without them. Because you are what you eat, and that is not just what you are actually consuming as food. That's what you watch, that's what you listen to, that's the type of music, like all of that leaves an imprint, right? And I'm all for a good turn up. I love Meg the Stallion. Okay, I'm about to toot that ass and all of that, and also
toot that. Oh, sorry.
And also she also has songs about anxiety and she has a mental health hotline, and also talking about the responsibility and the personhood of what it means to be someone who has influence, right?
Right.
So it's not that you have to turn off who you are and all of a sudden you
No.
have to become this straight arrow person who, is
Just be
robotic and all this kind of
responsible.
stuff. Be responsible with your platform and find a way to be able to add something positive to the world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. They I know when we were talking about uh the influence and what people are seeing on the internet now, like with one of my rabbit holes, it was the gingers.
The who?
Have you seen it? The gingers? The gingers, not gingers.
Oh, gingers, the ginger
Yes.
people, and
Yes.
claiming that they're black.
They're black now, right?
Uh-huh.
So at first, and
Uh-huh.
I was wondering how long it was gonna take before somebody went to the other side of this. And so it didn't take long at all.
I know.
At all. So it's like if you don't know what I'm talking about. So there was a study of them saying that all gingers are related, can trace their ancestry back to being black or African. And that all gingers essentially are black. So if you're a redheaded person, that you have a common ancestor that is black. So then on TikTok, Instagram, I think it's on Facebook now, finally, that it's like, oh yeah, it's the gingers are black now. The gingers are black now. I need to learn all the new line dances and don't let them use the ER with you. They tried that with us. You a ginger, blah 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 blah, whatever. Well, there was this one guy. At first, he got on there and was like, "Oh, I'm so happy now, blah blah blah. I made it. I'm gonna set up my application for my black queen, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Okay, here
Can
we
I
go."
just pause right there for a second? Because let me tell you something. Nothing irritates my soul more than this whole black queen shit. I don't know if it's the hotepery of it or like what it is about it, but it sends me. It is like, shut up.
Right.
But anyway, go ahead.
They, so he says that. So they nobody really said anything about that. Then
Mhm.
his next video, he's like joking around. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna tell my kids I'm going to get some cigarettes. I'm going to get some milk and cigarettes," implying, "Oh, I'm
He ain't
black
coming back.
now. I don't have to be here for my children." And I'm just like, not even 3 days, not even 3 days into it. And it's like, but this is what you guys really think about us.
Of
And the
course.
truth is, that's not the truth. Like, that's just not an accurate fact. And it's just so much harm has already been done to it. And it's like, and we've said this before about anything. It could be style, hair, facial features. Like, they want all the joy and don't want none of the blues.
We need
However
to
you say
stop
it,
trying to invite everybody to the damn cookout
to the
and
cookout.
being so damn inclusive. That's what we need to stop doing.
You know,
Because
because
now that the spotlight is on them, how are you using your platform?
how are you using it? Because here's the thing. Okay, you black, so are you going to Target? Like, did you understand what comes along with that? Like, here's some things in the community that we're actively working on, that since you're now aligning yourself with the community, that you need to be kind of figuring out what lane you fall in, or how are you supporting these HBCs? Like, who are you talking to? How are you showing up for these children? Like, it took no time for it to be like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna just go right into the stereotypes of it all. It was just really, I can't even say disheartening, because it shouldn't be a surprise, but it's still like, you just think so little of us as a whole, that no matter how many times you see things proven to the opposite, that you are committed to just believing that stereotype.
Mhm.
So that was my gingers and hard R. I'm
You know
like,
what the gender thing did do for me though is it made me curious about what their idea of being othered looks like.
mm,
Because I watched a few videos and some of them were like, I just never felt like I fit in. I always felt like I was the butt of a joke, like I always. And I'm curious about how they process within white skin, because in on the surface you should fit in. That's your people,
Right.
right?
Right.
But to be ostracized by something that you cannot control, like the color of your hair,
Right.
it made me curious about that. And it also made me curious again, but it's the same way if you look at Black people or just oppressed people, period, that some people choose to speak out against oppression and some people choose to become oppressive. And because there were some videos that I saw where it was like, hey, y'all better sit down and shut up and don't come in here saying nothing stupid. Now
Right.
they done let us in here. Now hush.
Now
Okay.
be quiet. Enjoy the plate.
Figure out how you could help
And bring the cups. And
you
that's
know,
it.
right.
Thank you.
But that was definitely the exception to the rule.
Right.
It really
And that was the
is.
part.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, but that was the part that I think why I wanted to use the word disheartening. Because I did see the videos of the people saying, like, I did always feel ostracized. I did, I was called names. I was picked on. They did talk about the texture of my hair and like these things did happen to me. And ever since this came out, people have been so very welcoming and blah, blah, blah. And so it was like, okay, okay, okay. And then it's like, bam, same old, same old.
Yeah, we
But then
got to
even
stop welcoming people.
when I looked at that particular creator's comment, people were like, "Oh, you're the one who fucked it up for us." Like, so, like, people were recognizing it, like, afterwards, because after he said, I went back to see, like, okay, what are you saying now? And they very much were like, dude, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's not cool. It's not funny. Like, why do you think that? Show me where there's a joke in this, and just really seeing people kind of challenge okay, if you think it's funny, tell me why it's funny. Like, tell me where the joke is, because that's not funny.
Yeah.
So that one, and then when we were talking about the overall government, Mr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
What he did now?
This fool got in front of Congress and is like, people shouldn't be listening to me for health advice.
How you the Secretary of Health? What?
If not you, then who, sir?
Well, I heard the Surgeon General ain't a surgeon.
Child,
and ain't
people
ain't a doctor.
It's not an education.
I know.
Who the fuck are we hiring? Who are these people?
The people that's on the list. There's a list in Project 2025 that lists the people that are eligible to be put into spaces. That's what they're doing.
And that's who they're putting in there. But it's literally like, are you serious?
Yes.
Like, because they were asking him, I want to say, it might have been about vaccines or something. I think they were asking him if he would vaccinate his kid. And he just was hemming and hawing around this answer. And they were like, why won't you just answer the question? He's like, well, I mean, the American public shouldn't be looking to me for answers.
If y'all are ready to get out, please go to findingpeaceabroad.com. I can help you. I've helped several people leave. So if you have a passport and you have the ability to be able to get rid of the things that you have, you can leave in as little as 90 days and maybe even sooner. Okay? Because it is real life. So I was watching The Handmaid's Tale again.
Because I'm watching it.
I really need to. The first time I watched it, I didn't understand when people were like, we're going towards The Handmaid's Tale. I was still asleep. I wasn't yet woke. And now it is like undeniable. I am just waiting for them to roll out the uniform and be like, and now
all right, here you go.
You know what, I'm interested in seeing this, and I'm laughing because this is so ridiculous, but also I want y'all to know that I understand the gravity of all of this, and also this is so ridiculous and also very real. I'm curious about what school is going to look like in August. Because in September, they have to have a presentation on the Constitution. Every school has to have a presentation on the Constitution that is with this what's it called? Because 2026 is I think it's 250 years since the birth of the United States, since they stole people's land and decided that they wanted to build a country on somebody else's land.
And then called them savages. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Right. So 2026 is the year of that celebration, and there's supposed to be a big parade. All of this was in one of the education executive orders that he laid all this out. So I'm curious about what school is going to look like next year. Like, I'm curious about the type of mandates that are going to come. They're claiming that stuff is in the hands of the states, and I'm curious about what that's going to look like. But I can see uniforms being rolled out. We already have the 10 Commandments being in schools. We already have the textbooks. This is something I was going off about the other day, because I need y'all to understand that textbooks are written by the people that have influence and power. That don't mean that shit's real. Accurate. And this is coming from a damn educator. Okay.
Not accurate, not comprehensive at all. Like,
and not real.
At all. Written from the state and the viewpoint of the oppressor. Who's it gonna make look good?
So I'm really curious about what that's gonna look like, and how people are going to be trying to push back, because again, I don't feel like it's a strategy. I feel like people are just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that it sticks, and we'll do this, and there are these many revolutions and protests, and it's not like this massive thing. I don't know if we're at the point of being able to have like a spokesperson, like back in the day.
One global,
correct. But I was about to say it is a global movement though. And that's the thing is I think that we need to stop looking for it to be one person, and that we really need to be thinking, what is my role in this? Y'all don't know I've been talking about this since 2020. Okay. What is my role in the resistance? What is my role in the fight? And how can I align myself with other people that are moving in the same direction? Everybody is not going to be able to do the same thing, and everybody is not equipped to do the same thing. But the question is, what are you going to do?
Right.
What are you going to do? How are you going to use your platform? What does that look like? What does that sound like? But yeah, I'm really curious about August, because I still exist in these educational spaces, and I see the stuff happening. I see it. I was talking to one of the companies I contract with the other day, and they asked me outright, because they know like I'm very vocal about this stuff, and I was like, they finna get rid of my ass in a minute. But they asked me like, how are you processing what is happening right now, and how am I processing still being in some of these spaces? And what I told them was, I think about it like when I was teaching, when I was in the classroom, I didn't talk about my faith, and I didn't talk about God when I was in the classroom. But my students knew there's something real different about Miss Jackson. There's a different way that she shows up. There's a different way that she treats us. Like, it's something about her. I don't know what it is, but it's something. That is my goal, is to be the light in these spaces where people are like, I don't know why I need to know more about you, but let me come know more about you.
Let me draw closer to you.
Correct.
And get the message that
correct. And then be able to get into safe spaces where you're able to have those conversations. So that's why I started the Healing Circle. That's why I started the Frolicking Truth, because I need people to hear and come so that we can strategize, because the strategy has to happen offline-ish. Right. So it's not taking place on social media. Social media is not safe right now. So we're putting things out, but also you got to be very careful about what you put out, because there are concerted movements to deprioritize and silence people. So saying
and even weaponize that against you, like even making travel difficult because of what you're posting and what's visible on your devices. To be told, with an American passport, you should have a burner phone. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But this is what you need to know.
Yeah. We had a comment here. People are distracted by Amazon purchases and Netflix. They don't know what's going on in real life. This is my last rant. Okay. Help me understand how we boycott and Target, but we still buy stuff from Amazon. Help me understand, please, because I can't make it make sense. Now, granted, I don't have access to Target. Okay, I don't live in the US, but also keep that same energy. If we are going to boycott a company saying, oh, they abandoned us, they did, this was a whole Facebook thing that I have with people. Y'all saying, okay, Target abandoned us and, you know, they got rid of their DEIs, da, 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 da. Okay, cool. So why are you shopping at Amazon? Well, they were never for us. So why are you shopping at Amazon?
Why are you shopping, man?
Help me understand, please. Okay, I'm done.
I hear you. I'm guilty. I do. I added some stuff to Amazon. I'm sorry. But I will not go to Target. I'm like, I won't. But I have not divorced myself from Amazon. And I think part of that, and it's not a good reason, it's just living out of the country. I don't know where else to go. Like, that's the easier answer. And in some cases, the cheaper answer. Because I did try to order something just directly from the company, and they were like, sure, here's $50 additional in shipping. And I was like, oh, no, thank you. I will pass. But I didn't order it from Amazon, but I also did not order it from them either. So it's a work in progress. Maybe. But absolutely fair thought process for sure. Because it is the same thing. It's like, I get the weird, oh, we're showing them a lesson. Like, you said you were going to do this for us and you weren't for us. But it also does not make sense to continue to support someone who was actively never there for you. So it's like, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I get both sides of that point.
That's it. Anything else before we wrap up and roll out?
One thing.
Okay.
I did a thing. And there's some content for it that's not out yet, but it's coming. But I made a bag.
Oh, look how cute!
And it's like a little crossbody.
Kalonda, that is so cute. Slide over more into the camera so we could see.
She said so we could see. Get in there, girl.
Because it's the double. So I like how you did the one side with the pattern. Oh, that's cute, girl. Now you said you recorded this, making this, because the people gonna want to know.
I do have some recordings of it.
Amen.
I will be editing and doing voiceovers of all the things I did right and wrong.
How long did it take you?
Actually, not long. It took me 2.5 days. And if I probably could have done it in one day. But I would say, like, you could easily do it in a weekend. And I have an issue with scale on crochet projects. So it's supposed to be smaller than that. But so if it was smaller, it would have also taken less time. I'm working on that. But I definitely feel like that is something that I would make more of.
Yeah.
And I definitely enjoy, like, making the process and figuring out how to do the strap and all that kind of stuff. So it was fun.
That came out real cute.
Thank you, man.
I like that. So before we leave, though, the next time that we're scheduled to have a show is on the 1st, and that's going to be like smack dab right after all the transitions and the things. Did you want to share anything with the people about what you have on the horizon, or do you want to just lay it all on them on our next show?
Ooh. What do y'all think, guys? Y'all want a little preview now, or y'all want to be surprised? Dun, dun, dun. Answer in the chat. I think
it was the look of intrigue in your eyes.
I know. Like, what will they say? I think we should wait.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's like a whole nother hour conversation.
Well, I wasn't meaning like get into it. I didn't know if you wanted to leave any teasers or anything like that. What we can say is we're going to be in different places.
We're going to be in different places. In
June. Yeah. So there's a lot of transition that's happening, and everybody will be somewhere else on our next show. So we'll tell y'all where we at on our next show, and what's happening at that time. But also, please do send prayers, wishes, cash apps, okay,
all that.
It's a lot. It's a lot that's going on right now, and preparing to handle that transition is very present and real.
Yes.
So we'll give y'all the rest of the updates when we actually have the answers, because there are some things that are kind of still up in the air right now. So having said that, then tell the people where they can find you, please.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Kawana Bear, KAWANABEAR. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Kalonda, KALONDA Jackson. You can also find me in my executive assistant services at visionaryenetwork.com. Also on Instagram at Visionary Executive Network. I am in all of those places and look forward to seeing you. And hopefully I can help you do the things that you love while I assist you with the stuff that just feels like you're working in your business and not on.
Amen. And you all can find me at KimberlandJackson.com. Everything is now linked there. So if you go to that website, you'll be able to find all of the things. Also on Instagram, you can find me at KimberlandJ. And again, KimberlandJ. And at Minding My Black Ass Business. Okay. Another reminder, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the page, turn on the notifications, share this with somebody else. Okay. And watch. Let us know again how many hours that you are dedicating to watching per week. I've been seeing comments coming up on older videos that we've had. So people are doing their due diligence and helping us, for sure. We appreciate that so very much. Other than that, $$ Kimberland Jackson on Cash App, Kimberland-Jackson on Venmo. Tell the people what your Cash App is in case they want to donate.
Cash App, $Kalonda, KALONDA. Thank you very much.
All right. So that's it. That's all, y'all. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And please keep the comments coming. We see them. We continue commenting, and let's make it a thing. All right. We go together.
Amen. Real bad.
All right, y'all. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for the share, too. Okay, bye.
Bye.